I'm trying to adjust this. Hold on, guys. Let's see. Hold on. There, I think that's a little better. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is doing well. So like this shirt, look at that. Isn't that cool? Show you the back of it first. Hold on. Gonna put that up there so you guys can see the back. Uh, I have to give a big shout out to Lexi and her dad Charles for this shirt. Um, they said they saw the shirt and they knew it was me, and so they had to get it, and they were not wrong. So I love, love, love this shirt, guys. Thank you very much. They also sent me um, this one here, and I'll show you the back of that one. And there is the back of that one. So that was awesome. And then the third thing that they sent was this home protected by the Second Amendment. And I like that. And I'm going to put that up as well. So very, very cool. Very nice of you guys. Looks awesome. Appreciate it. Good stuff. I gotta do a quick apology too. A lot of people have sent me some things and I have not, and it was been a while, but I just had not been on top of stuff for a while, so I have to apologize. Um, have to apologize ahead of time. It just, I get busy and crazy, and then I'm like, yeah, I mean to do it, and then it doesn't happen. So I do apologize for that, and so I'm going to try to be more proactive when people send stuff to get on here right away and show it and stuff like that. But no, this shirt is cool. It's a button down shirt too. So I love the sleeveless part. I mean, it's just like it's literally so me. So very very much appreciated and thank you so much. All right, so anyway, moving forward, before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches will boot you out of here. So thank you so much for doing that. And, let's have a nice chat tonight. All right. So obviously, you guys saw the right? Is it time to be afraid? And that's a great question. It's a great, great question. Uh, you know, there is, I have to be careful a lot of times how I say things on here. I really should start doing some more content over on Rumble because then I can just say what I want, which would be great. And, and just kind of say it like it is. But, you know, yeah, did you lose your sleeves? I don't know. I think it looks cool. I like it like that. So, that was how the shirt came, and I just think that that's awesome. So, but anyway, uh, so there's a lot going on. There's a narrative being pushed. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. Here's a question that I have: is just my daughter. I was talking to her, and somebody that she works with is out this week, and of course, it's the big C, right? It's the big C. Whatever happened to the flu? Whatever happened to the flu? That's what I want to know. Uh, because it seems like every time anybody is sick anymore, no MC clubs, please. I'm not part of any MC club. No, I'm not. Never have been. Now I've partied with MC clubs. I'll tell you what, very cool, good people. I have no problem with them, and that is perfectly cool. I mean, I have no problem. They're good, like I said, as long as you don't step on their toes. They're really fun to hang out with and stuff like that. Uh, Clubs for are just not for me. I ride when I want to ride. I'm not going to have somebody dictate to me when I have to be there, what I have to do. I don't like that. It's just not my style. When it comes to riding, riding to me is a Zen thing. So big difference. But anyway, if you guys watched the earlier video today, I was working in the pavilion, and not the pavilion. Listen to me, God, my brain is shot. I was working in the Wolf's Lair next door here, and I got everything that I could get done. And so you'll be seeing that probably. That video will next video will come up tomorrow, but definitely looks better. Definitely looks better. So, but you know, there's all kinds of stuff going on out there. Talking about this new, and again, this is what I don't get. Okay, there's this new mysterious thing going on. This pneumonia over in China. It's affecting kids and stuff like that. Now, the question that I have with that, okay, if there's some new mysterious thing that is affecting people and doing all kinds of things in the negative light for them, why are the airports still open? Why are we still letting people come in from countries that have a higher chance of getting these type of things, and they're bringing things here? You know what I mean? Writing is relaxing. 100% understand what you're saying there. That's cool. I appreciate you. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It is absolutely. It is. You could have the worst day of your life. Um, get on the bike and go for a ride, and when you get back, you feel better. And it's just you focus on the ride. You don't think about all the other nonsense, and that makes all the difference in the world. Makes all the difference in the world. So, but yeah, Larry, they did say that it's already here. I think they were saying, what were they saying? It was like in the South. It was like Louisiana and someplace else already. I can't remember where else the other place was. They were saying it was at, but this is a somebody saying Ohio. They're saying Ohio. Okay, yeah, but I mean, it's just whatever happened to the flu. That would be my question. Why is everything, right? Why is everything this virus, that virus, this thing, that thing? They're saying it right now, they're saying there's three things going around, right? Three things going around. They're saying this mysterious pneumonia coming out of China. They're saying the next round of COVID, of course. And they did mention the flu. They did mention the flu as well. But everybody that I've talked to that is sick, they have if they went and got tested, there's a dog illness too. Yes, yep, there's a dog illness out there too. But they're anybody that I talk to, they basically it's always being diagnosed as COVID. That's you know the thing with that. What are you going to do? I mean, it's just now the question is to me is basically only seeing COVID in our hospital. Village Homestead said, okay. It COVID is like a blanketed thing. I saw something. Um, yeah, mental illness in DC. No kidding. Uh, I saw something that somebody was telling me that there was a thing that supposedly no symptoms whatsoever. You don't even know you're sick, and then they test you and say, "Oh yeah, you're sick." And I'm like, that makes no sense, no sense whatsoever. If I'm feeling fine, and all that, I'm like, I'm not getting that one. I'm really not getting that one. But what interesting things going on. So they're amping things up, obviously, right? Pneumonia is not contagious. I've had pneumonia 500 times, even septic, but not contagious. Wow. 500 times you've had it? What are you like constantly just sick all the time? I think you must have misprinted there when you said 500 times because that would be that would be a ridiculous amount. But anyway, yeah, like I said though, they're gearing things up. They're amping things up right now. And oh yeah, by the way, what is next year, right? And I wonder if the doctors, nurses, and technicians uh, will make TikTok videos. And maybe they can dance, Tony. Yeah, maybe they can dance again. I got strep throat 7 times in 1 year. Wow, that's crazy. So, but yes, at least 2 times a year or more. Wow, that's crazy, Miss Lady Tiger. That's wild. Okay, well, I'm not. I wasn't saying. I thought maybe you had misprinted because I was gonna say that was a lot. That's a lot. But you know, with everything, guys, I just you have to kind of filter through it, make decisions. You have to make decisions for your life. What you're gonna do? Are you gonna live in fear, or are you not gonna live in fear? The last time I had the flu, it was from a flu shot. Never again, Don Hill said. Yeah, I like I said again, those type of things. Hey, Philip, good evening. Glad to have you here. Uh, I have my laptop back and working. Awesome. Very good. Very good, my friend. So now we don't have to use the wife's laptop anymore. Fear is used as a tool. Okay. If they can keep you in a constant state of fear, you are. I did finish the installation, Larry. You'll see the video. That video will be coming up tomorrow. I do need a couple more strips, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I do the video. I used everything that I had. I even used the two pieces, the two bats, if you will, or not bats, the two strips of insulation that were out on the porch that I had out there. I even used those. So, but there's you'll see when watch tomorrow's video. That'll be up at 3, and you'll see that then. But no, very productive day. It's just kind of I'm in a mindset like when I came back from New York, and I'm like, okay, I don't care if it's something small, as long as I'm making some kind of progress every day, as long as I'm getting something done. And I knew the weather today was going to be rainy and wet and cold, and so I had it in my head that it was going to be a day where I was going to work on that insulation in the wolf's lair. But yeah, keeping yourself exactly, JJ. You said even if it's minor stuff, as long as you keep going forward, uh, you know, that's the. So now, with John, did you get your military discount at Lowe's for your projects? The problem is, John, what they're doing at Lowe's now, certain things you can't get the discount for anymore, like lumber. Forget about it. You're not getting that discount for lumber anymore. So they're playing, they play like they give a crap about veterans and want to give them a discount, but I guess too many veterans were using that, and so they limited of what you can use it for now. So, but the prices are absolutely insane. They're absolutely insane now, and it is amazing. I'm like, holy crap. But just remember, Biden said everything is wonderful. The economy is booming. I'd like to know where. I'd like to know where all that discretionary spending is from. Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it from people. People I talk to are struggling, really, really struggling. So, uh, do you ever get your things from a local PX? I don't think there is a local PX around here, Don. I don't think there is. As far as a military post near here, there's not. You know, I don't really think that there is one. Tried to get some electrical boxes at Home Depot yesterday, and they had none. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, things are getting scarce. I mean, there's definitely shortage of stuff. I wanted to bring something. We're talking a little bit more about fear first, but I wanted to bring something up that I think is really pertinent and really um, telling, if you will, and it's about China. We'll talk about that in a minute. I don't believe it's ever a time to be afraid. So, answering the question in the stream title, is it time to be afraid? I don't think living in fear is a good thing ever. I really don't. You have to pay attention. You have to watch what's going on. You still have to be. focused on what you need to take care of. You still need to live your life. I mean, it's like, making a trip to New York. Now, obviously, it was dual purpose. I wanted to visit my family, obviously, and stuff like that. But men with balls are getting scarce like yourself. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't believe in living in fear. I just don't. I think it's counterproductive. You can only hide under the bed for so long. And, that is, that's not a good thing at all. Living in fear is just not a good thing. But fear is a wake up call. Not always, Juby Joe. Some people take that fear and they become panic stricken and they can't act when when they're afraid, when they're scared all the time. Like I said, you can look at a situation, you can assess in a situation, you can go, okay, what can I do? What could I not do? How do I deal with this situation? And so that I think is important. Yeah, it's fear to a point is healthy. You have to, depending on where you're at and what you're dealing with. I mean, if you're in the wrong part of the city, uh, you know, a healthy level of fear and being situationally aware is probably a good thing to do, as far as that goes. But living in a constant state of fear of this thing or that thing or the other thing that may kill you, uh, you know, that's just not the way to live your life. You have to still live your life, and I'm a big believer in, you take things day by day. You can control what you can control. Uh, you know, if they come out with more restrictions and say, you have to do this and you have to do that, yeah, look at the fear was created with, exactly, Don. I don't disagree with, yeah, fear is healthy to a point, right? Knowing how to use it to your advantage is key. Absolutely. There's fear and then there's panic. Big step from there, having a healthy dose of fear is never a bad thing, but it's knowing what to do when you're afraid, is really really important. I'm gonna tell you what, I'll tell you. I mean, so the last time I got in a fight, the last time I got in a fight, I was 27 years old. So it's a few years. All right, I haven't been in a fight in forever and a day, and that's good. That's a good thing. But I can remember one situation that I was in, and you know, I was always afraid. I didn't want to fight. If I could avoid a fight, I was going to try to avoid a fight. I didn't want to fight. But once I took that step, then the flip switched, and then it was a whole different thing. And I became a different person. And I don't like that person that I became when I was in those situations. And so, I always tried to avoid them if I can, but I would always be afraid right up until I had to do something. And once I made the decision, and that's the weird part, and I don't even know how to begin to explain that. But I'd be afraid. I'd be afraid. I'd try to talk my way out of things. I'm like, listen, we're not looking for trouble. We're going to go, whatever the case may be. But when you're backed into that corner and it's fight or flight, you better be willing to do what's necessary. And I always was, and I always did. And once I made that decision, it was a whole different flip switch, and I wasn't afraid anymore. I acted, and and I was never afraid to act first. That's another thing I will tell you guys. I can promise you, if you are in a situation, and I'm going to tell you this, and this is from my heart, guys. Okay, if you're in a situation and you have tried to back your way out of it, you try to talk your way out of it, and it's a bad situation. My rule of thumb has always been this: if I feel, and what I said, just remember what I just said, if I feel like they may try to hurt me, I am going to hurt them first. Never be the one that said, "Oh, you throw the first punch." No, you throw the first punch. Crap. Don't play that game. If somebody puts their hands on you, that's on. Number one. Number two is if you feel like they may try to hurt you, you take the initiative. You take the offensive because they're not expecting that. They're not expecting you to defend yourself or to be the first one to act and do something. That's huge. And man, I'll tell you what, the advantage that gives you when you do that is astronomical, because it really resets everything when you do that. And it's just that's been a rule of thumb that I have had since I was a young man. And there was one situation. I was actually talking about it with my brother. My brother was there. We got together when I went to New York, and we were talking about it. And he basically said, he goes, "Do you realize how lucky you were that you didn't kill that guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I think about that a lot. What would have happened? How would my life have changed if that situation had been that, and I had uh, just a bad situation." I'll tell you a little bit about what had happened, but very scary, very scary. But real quick, what are we at? 367 in the chat. Got 127 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that ahead of time. Uh, again, it makes a huge difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction we have for the channel, like, comment, shares, obviously that makes a big difference. Thumbs up, also makes a difference. Also, again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Uh, Hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So I'll tell you the story. This happened in 1988. We were at Running Man. It was the movie was out at the time. Arnold Schwarzenegger had just come out, so we went to the theater, and it was me, my brother, and a buddy of his, and his buddy weighed 110 pounds soaking wet at the time. I mean, just there was nothing to him. That guy now is a power lifter who benches like 500 and something pounds. He's a beast. But at the time, he was not a beast. He was a little bitty guy that had no meat behind him, nothing, right? So we had picked up a 12 pack of beer. We drank the beer in the car. Then we went into the theater. There was like a confrontation in the theater. We had words with somebody in the theater. Get outside, and we were kind of like looking if they're going to come out, if they want to talk any more crap. Didn't see them, right? They were gone. So I'm like, I go, screw it. Let's go. Let's go. So we're walking back now. At the time, just a reminder too, I forgot to tell you this. My brother was on crutches with a broken leg. So he had a broken leg. The other guy was 110 pounds, and then there's me. And so as we're walking back to the car, Eric says to me, "Ed, man, those guys over there are staring at us." And I look over and I go, who cares? So we get to the car. He goes, "Ed, they're still staring." So me being me, I turn around and I go, "You got a problem with something?" That's all I said, right? "You got a problem with something?" Next thing I know, we have four guys and a chick coming at us with empty beer bottles. Now, again, it's me. My brother's on crutches with a broken leg, and the other kid weighs 110 pounds. We're in trouble. We're in big trouble. We're outnumbered because basically the reality was it was me against the five of them. That's the reality. So I'm like, listen, they came over. I'm like, listen, we don't want any problems. We're gonna get in the car and we're gonna go. And the guy goes, "You ain't going anywhere." So I had a billy club that I had taken a plastic PVC pipe that was about this big, about that big around. I had packed it full of dirt, and then I took black electrical tape and I had wrapped it all up. And I had taken a couple times and hit my hand with it, put it in my hand. And man, I'll tell you what, it hurt. The thing was like solid. So I pulled that out of my car and I was holding it down at my waist, two handed, holding it down at my waist. And the biggest guy of the group, right? The biggest guy of the group kept coming and he kept getting closer and closer and closer to me, and he's going, "You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing." And folks, I'll tell you what, scared to death. Not lying, being 100% honest, scared to death. And I remember in my head, I'm going, "Should I hit this MF?" Right? And as soon as my brain said, "Yes, you should," my arm reacted, and I came from my waist and I hit him in the side of the head right here. Right here's where I hit him. And I'm telling you, folks, I hit him as hard as I possibly could. I found out later that I had knocked out two of his molars. Now I want you to think about how hard you would have to hit somebody, okay, to knock out two of their molars out of their face. All right. And so I hit him, he goes down, right? And he's screaming. So I know that he's out of the picture. So again, that once that flip is switched, it's a different mindset. So I actually stepped in front of my car and I'm holding that billy club and I said, "Okay, who else wants some of it?" The girl comes running right at me, comes running right at me. And I knew in my head, I knew If I don't defend myself, the other guys are going to come next. So I raised up that billy club and I was going to club her too. But she veered off and went to him. That was her boyfriend. Okay. So at this point, I look over my shoulder like this and I see Eric standing there. And I go, get in the effing car. So he jumps in the car. I back up. I hop in the car. John was behind me. So I'm figuring he's in the car, right? So I go, I fire the car up. I had a Chevy Chevette, 85 Chevy Chevette. That was the vehicle I was driving. I drop it into drive, and Eric says to me, there was two of them, like right in front of the car. He goes, they're in front of the car. And I go, they'll get out of the way. And I just went, whoop, and we're gone. We're out, right? We're good. Everything's beautiful. And then Eric says, John's not in the car. And I'm like, what? He goes, John's not in the car. So I'm like, oh my God. So we spin back around. And as we spin back around, one of those guys takes a beer bottle and throws it, takes out the passenger window where my brother was, blows the window out, right? And I stop the car and I go, are you okay? And he's like, yes, yes, I'm okay. And I said, and I go like this, I go, I'm getting out. And I'll never forget it. He goes like this. He goes, no, no, no. He goes, just go, just go. He was scared to death. I mean, which I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. So we left. John, you're on your own, pal. But I don't know exactly where I hit him, but I had to have hit him like somewhere here. If I had hit that guy here with that billy club, I would have killed him. So my point is, you get yourselves into situations that can change the complete trajectory of your life. And so what had ended up happening, we left, got back to my house. The cops showed up because they'd got my license plate number. And the cops were back in the early 80s, cops were still pretty cool. Okay. And no, I was not charged with anything that night, nothing that night. They said, listen, man, they said, don't carry a billy club in your car. That's illegal. They said, get a baseball bat, put a baseball bat in your car, you're good to go. And it's better than having a billy club, which is 100% true. So I eventually got charged with, well, felony assault, reckless endangerment, and then possession of a criminal weapon. Okay. Went to the grand jury, did the grand jury thing. They threw the assault charge out because it was self defense because they came to my car. I did not go to them. They came to us. Plea dealed it down. And you're going to love this. I ended up pleading to attempted possession, not possession, attempted possession of a criminal weapon in the fourth degree. So it's a misdemeanor. It's on my record, which I could care less. But what ended up happening was, I ended up having to do a year probation. And the funny part was, my probation officer worked out at the gym where I was an instructor at the gym. So I'd have to go see her and all that type of stuff. But it's just crazy, crazy situation that could have turned into something much, much worse. So I always tried to avoid those situations if I could, because, number one, you got to be willing to do what you need to do. And when I went before the judge in that whole thing, and I had to deal with the judge in the court, and I said, Your Honor, I said, if I was in the same situation, I would do the same thing over again. I said, because it was them or us, and I wasn't going to let them hurt me or my brother or the other kid. And that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? But, you just got to be smart about stuff. But like I said, avoiding situations is key. If you can avoid them, sometimes you can't avoid them. So the moral of the story is, guess what? I didn't get hurt. Yeah, they got hurt, and it was their own fault because they wouldn't go away. So, I gave them that opportunity. You know what I mean? So, no, no teardrop tattoo. I don't do none of that. I would never. There'll be no. You'll never see a tattoo on my face. You'll never see a tattoo on my neck. I don't do that kind of crap. Never would. But anyway, the reality is this: living in fear. Like I said again, let's go back to what we're talking about here. Living in fear is not a way to live your life. You have to live your life. You have to be paying attention to what's going on, working towards making things better, and that's important. You know. Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, right. Oh my God, that's too. I don't think he had done that movie yet, JJ. He hadn't done that one yet. I don't think at that point. I'd have to look and see. I don't remember. Maybe he did. I don't remember. He might have. But my first car was a '77 Pontiac Ventura Nova. But my first car I had was a '72 Chevy Impala four door boat, and it just sucked gas. That thing sucked gas. Fun car though, big car. So yeah, my '85 Chevy Chevette. That I like that car. That was my second car. So was it my second? Might have been my third. But anyway, yeah, the teardrop means you've taken a life. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what. Here's the reality. I don't want to hurt anybody. I really don't. I don't want to hurt anybody. But at the same time, I ain't taking no crap neither. It doesn't make me a tough guy. It's not about being a tough guy. It's just about being respectful. I'm going to be respectful to you. I fully expect you to be respectful back to me, and that's just how I've always rolled. Um, the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself. People know. They know who to screw with and they who not to screw with. And I've always had a look, where people go, yeah, I ain't screwing with that guy, and it's probably a good because like I said, I ain't taking nobody's crap. And like I said, there's a lot of people bigger than me. There's a lot of people stronger than me. Um, Not a lot of people are willing to do what I would do, and that's another thing. But yeah, no, Larry, we're only doing the one egg count now. We're going to do it at the normal time. I'm not even doing the New York egg count right now. They're not laying way up in New York, so we're only going to do the West Virginia egg count at the normal time. So I think we're going to keep it like that because whatever they do up in New York now is going to be what they do in New York. Do you carry a bat in the truck these days, Ed? Absolutely, neighbor Bob. Absolutely. I got my aluminum baseball bat is in the truck right now as we speak. Yep. And so, yeah, always carry it. Always. So, like I said, since that day when that cop told me that, I have always carried a baseball bat in any vehicle that I've ever had. Baseball bat's better, Don. Get yourself an aluminum baseball bat. Do a lot more damage. A lot more damage. So, but oh, you were gone Wednesday? Okay. Yeah, we're just going to do the egg count is going to be the West Virginia egg count from now on down here, and at the normal time. So always someone willing, and that can kick your arse. Ain't the size of the dog in the fight; it's the fight in the dog. Well, and the thing is, you got to be willing. You got to be. No, you don't have to have the glove in the vehicle. All I have to say is if they say, well, why do you have the baseball bat? Where's your glove and where's your ball? All I'd have to say is this: when I go to the batting cages, I like to use my own bat, and that's why I carried a bat with me. That's all you got to tell them. What are they going to tell you? You're a liar. So there you go. It's covering your bases, and I get you. I appreciate you saying that, but that's what I always say. And I've never honestly, anytime I've gotten pulled over, a bat's always there. I've never had an issue. So you know, but anyway, you know, continue to live your lives. Whatever things are coming up, whatever is put out there, whatever they want to do, they're going to do anyway. So you being afraid and living in fear and oh my God, I got to watch out for this, that, or the other thing. I'm going to tell you what I just started, and I'll tell you this too. Again, I don't do it over the summer because I'm pretty active in the summer and the weather's nice and stuff like that. But this time of year, when you're not getting as much sun, vitamin D3, zinc, and 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. And I just started that again 2 days ago, just as a precautionary thing. Keep the immune system built up and stronger. Okay, and that's important. Uh, Anybody, especially in the Northeast, this time of year, especially with the shorter days, vitamin D deficient, and vitamin D helps promote healing. So again, making sure your vitamin D levels are up there, I think is really, really important. like I said, when it's spring and then the spring comes up, we got the longer days. I don't take anything during the spring or the summer or early fall. I just don't. But like this time of year is definitely the time of year you're getting a lot. Who's had a gun pointed at their head? Me twice. Oh, I have Juby by the police. That's another story. That's another story for another day. Um, yeah, that's a different kind of feeling. Uh, you got a lot of vitamin D in the deer blind, just saying, right? Yeah, no, I have. I like I said, it's one of the things too that you know, that's another thing. Making sure I have the different. I got multivitamins are fine too. You can do that too, Peter. That's fine. If you want to do a multivitamin, that's absolutely fine too. I actually have those too, but I like the regimen of what I've been taking, and that seems to have really helped. So it's just a matter of staying, like I said, proactive. But yeah, that's zinc also helps with healing. So Megan, that's it's LOL. You do look intimidating. It's funny. Vitamin D3. That's what the one Mary D. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I'll tell you what. For me, I just want people to leave me alone. All right. I don't want to be bothered with anybody. I don't want nobody coming up giving me a hard time or trying to think that they're a tough guy. So if you have a certain look, um, they generally don't mess with you. They don't. And again, it's how you look. Number one, it's how you carry yourself. Do you carry yourself with confidence? And those type of things. Those are big parts of it. And and like I said, I don't walk around scared. Um, I'll tell you, I had one situation one time, and I was in the city, up in Rochester, New York, and the city can be a pretty tough place. And I was walking down the street, and I'm by myself. There was three black guys coming the other way. Okay, and I'm like, oh, this ain't a good situation. But I'll tell you exactly what I did. I walked straight down the center of that sidewalk, looked them straight in the eyes, and went, "Hey, what's up?" And they looked at me and they went, "Hey, how you doing?" And they just went on their business because I didn't act like I was afraid because it really wasn't. I was uncomfortable, but I just was like I was ready to deal with whatever I had to deal with. But it's how you carry yourself is a big part of it. And if they see that you're not afraid, man, they're not going to mess with you 9 times out of 10, unless they're, yeah, eye contact. Absolutely. You're looking down, you're looking away, and you're acting like you're intimidated. You're done, And if you look straight at them and you just walk down through the center, you know. And it's funny. I'll tell you. Who was I? I was out with Heather. I think I was out with Heather and her boyfriend. We were somewhere and we were walking, and we were in a mall actually. And when I walk in the mall, I just walk. But I notice a lot of times people get out of my way. If they're coming the other way, they're the ones that steps over, and they get out of my way. It's just always been that way. And again, I'm not trying to be a tough guy. I'm not walking around. I don't start fights, guys. I'm not looking to start no fights. I never have. I have no problem doing what's necessary when the time comes, though. That is for sure. But again, it's all about choices that we make, and like I said, I'm not going to walk around scared to death all the time, no matter what kind of nonsense is going on. But anyway, what I was going to say, talking about, you know just live your lives, continue to do what you can do, continue to get ready, because whatever may happen, we're not going to have any control over it one way or the other. It's how we act when something happens, is going to make a big difference. So, it's just, it is your choice. You can do what you want to do, but, that's what that's what we're going to take care of. And we're always going to take care of that. So, but, anyway, oh, I was going to talk about China real quick. All right. Now, JJ sent me a thing saying that with Z meeting with Biden, that China's in real big trouble financially. And I was like, you know what? If you think about it, you think about, okay, so they shut down our economy here in the United States, right? Restricted everything. Uh, all these small businesses closed and did not reopen again. Big businesses did just fine because they were, they could stay open and that was great. But there was a lot of issues. It destroyed our economy, right? Leading into an election year. Imagine that. I don't know why that would make any difference. I wonder what was going on there. If it was done intentionally, I don't know. Can't say it was, can't say it wasn't. But anyway, China's lockdown, what they did in their country was 10 times worse than what we did here. I mean, they shut down and locked up whole cities where nobody could go anywhere, nobody could move. What you have to realize is how decimating that has to be for their economy. Because what are you going to do? It's just it's a bad situation, and it was much much longer. And then they finally started lifting the restrictions, and now they got the next thing going on over there. Um, what I think has happened is their economy is going right down the toilet because of the fact you can't keep things going. You can't have that money keep coming. You can't see positive things happening when nobody's allowed to go anywhere. Nobody's allowed to do anything. And there's all kinds of restrictions. And if you break those restrictions, you're going to be in big, big trouble. Oh, did we ever find John? That okay, broken down. Yeah, let me tell you. Okay, I'll tell you the rest of that real quick. So anyway, so Eric calls John, and John was like, I go, he goes, what the heck, man? He goes, why didn't you get in the car? He said, well, I went to, and then Ed took off. And Eric was like, I got in the car. I was on crutches with a broken leg. As soon as I tell you, get in the effing car, you need to be getting in the car. Well, he said what he did was he just backed up into the crowd because by that point there's a crowd around there, right? There's a guy on the ground screaming. There's this big confrontation. He goes, I just backed up into the crowd and pretended like I was part of the crowd going, hey, what's going on? What happened? So then he got home somehow. But yeah, so that was I talked to him years later, years and years later. We were sitting down, we were having a beer, and we were talking. And he said to me, he goes, and I got to tell you something. He goes, to this day, he goes, when you hit that guy with that billy club, he goes, that is the sickest sound I've ever heard in my life. Because think about it, you know, what you hit somebody with that type of tool, in the face, it's not, it's going to give. The tool's not going to give. So it was a really bad, bad thing. And like I said, it could have been much, much worse. And I got really, really lucky, really, really lucky. But, you know, it is what it is. And you do what you got to do. And I was making sure that we didn't get hurt. And basically, it was me against them. So I was going to do what was necessary. But I'll tell you what, and I can tell you this, folks, from experience, I've seen it over and over again in my own life, that situation as well. When you take out the leader of the other group, you cut off the head of the lion, the rest of them don't want no part of it. My brothers, yeah, my brother and John, they're both still alive. They're both younger than me. Yeah, they're both younger than me. So, but yeah, it was, you take out you take out the leader, and that usually ends the fight because the rest of them don't want no part of it. When their leader goes down, it takes all the fight out of them. You look at guys, a great example, right? The nature preserve, right? They had the nature preserve, and you had the Bundys, and they were all out there. And they had all these people had come and were supporting them, and they're all, they're standing up against the government and all this type of stuff. What happened as soon as they got them out in that car and they arrested all the leadership of that group? Remember what happened to the rest of that group? They were all gone, all gone. They got out of Dodge in a hurry. So, yeah, it folded. And that's exactly what happens. You take out the leadership, end of story 9 times out of 10. Unless there's somebody in there that's willing to step up, that's what happens. If you take out the leader, that's the end of the story. So, you know, but I've seen it, guys, seen it firsthand over and over and over again. and it's just the way it is, unfortunately, you know. So whenever you're in that situation, figure out who the leader is, and that's who you better go for. That's who you better go for. So, but all right, we are at that time. What do we got? 390 in the chat, guys. We're at 211 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It makes a big, big difference, again, also with the algorithms. The more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Yeah, the biggest and the loudest. Exactly, Dawn Hill. Exactly. But again, so appreciate that. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So you watch the Warriors movie too much. You know, it's funny. You know, it's like people think things are like they're going to be on TV. But when you're in real life and things happen, it ain't like TV, folks. There's a whole different kettle of fish there, especially when it comes to violence. It's a whole different kettle of fish than TV. So, not fun. But anyway, so let's go ahead and do egg count. So, the egg count, we're only doing egg count now for here in West Virginia. How many eggs today, and did the white hen lay or not? So, obviously, 6 hens, and we will go from there. So, give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and that's I'll probably end up getting more birds in the spring too, just so you guys know. We'll be adding to the flock, and when it gets to that point. But right now, it's 6 hens and a rooster are plenty. So give you guys a moment to get your guesses, and I'm going to get a drink here. All right. If you had the same exact guess, folks, as Dawn Hill, Dawn Hill said 3 eggs today, and yes for the white hen, because she did lay. So then you are 100% correct. So we got 3 eggs today. We did an update too on the chicken run, and I'll show you that in an upcoming video. I didn't do it today because me, was working in the wolf's lair today. So I was a little busy today, but I will show you what we've done to upgrade. And it's Paul and Barbara. It's their fault. I will blame them completely. But you'll see that. I'll do another video tomorrow that you'll probably see at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So, but blame Paul and Barbara, just so you know that they're the ones that are going to be responsible. Um, Congratulations, that you have breakfast for two. 3 eggs? 3 eggs is breakfast for two? I don't think so. 3 eggs is one person. Yes, congratulations. You won nothing and you're happy. See, there you go. It's perfect. It works out just like the powers that be want it. Uh, so, anyway, let us move on. Again, the fear factor is amping up. We see it over and over again. If you're paying attention, you know, cases are rising. This is happening. That's happening. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but out in the general public, I am definitely seeing an uptick of people doing this again, right? Um, if they only knew how effective that was, but it's not for me to say. Ed, can you tell us or show us what foods went bad from your storage buckets? Well, Peter, I'm going to give you this as a little nugget ahead of time. Watch tomorrow's 3 o'clock video. I actually opened up 3 of the buckets to show you. After, let's see, the 2 of the buckets that I opened up were from 2009, and the other bucket that I opened up was from 2011. So we're looking at what, 14 years and then 12 years. That's how long they've been packed away. Excuse me. Uh, so it'll be really interesting to see tomorrow when you watch at 3 o'clock tomorrow. You'll see that in the video. I show you what I did with the building. But also I end up opening up 3 buckets because I know people were curious. I'll be honest with you, I was curious. So I was like, how is that holding up? So you will see that tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So definitely check out that video if you want to see that. And it'll be really interesting to see how those buckets held up. Um, yeah, I see them riding their bicycles with a mask on. It is unbelievable. But yeah, it's but anyway, yeah, it was so you'll see. You'll have to watch the videos and we'll go from there. But I don't want to give it away. You'll have to look and see tomorrow's videos. But 2 of those buckets that I opened were, and like I said, all the orange buckets, guys, all those orange buckets are 2011 or sooner. So still leaving plenty for Heather and your sister in New York. There's plenty of food still up there, Rhonda. Yes. Um, when I tell you that I brought down a tremendous amount of food on this trip, a tremendous amount of food. There's still a tremendous amount of food still in New York. So I haven't even gone. So I'll give you an example. Margie's building. I haven't even gone in Margie's building. So I got things in there as well. So there is a lot of food still up there. Like I said, it has to. When I go up next year, you know, I will definitely. Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you with the buckets, what I did. I vacuum sealed everything first, and then Edward the buckets from Legacy. No, no, no. I don't touch those because those are all fine. I'm not worried about any of those. Those buckets and stuff are all fine. The buckets that I opened up were the 5 gallon buckets that I packed up myself. Okay, so the buckets that I packed up myself, the way that I did it, um, Ed, the oldest buckets are from when? About 2009, 2008, 2009. The one that I opened up today that you'll see in tomorrow's 3 o'clock video, 2 of them were from 2009 and one was from 2011. So, but what the way that I did it back then when I packed those up, and I still have a vacuum sealer to this day, I vacuum sealed things in individual packages, and then I put them into 5 gallon buckets. And then I sealed those buckets. And you'll see the tool that I had to use to open those buckets because those are not, that's why I really like the gamma lid buckets. And that's why I switched over to the gamma lid buckets because then it's just a matter of spinning it and it's off. Okay. Yeah, the legacy stuff is going to last a long, long, long time. Uh, I'm going to show you something as an example of something. Okay, hold on. Watch out, baby girl. Actually, do I have? No, I got them right here. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. Like I said, I have a very diverse amount of food. I'm a big believer, like I said again, and I've told you guys this. And if you listen, great. If you don't listen, um, you know, just because you just don't know. But I believe you should have freeze dried foods. I believe you should have canned goods. I believe you should have long-term food storage. Okay, like your rice, your beans, your honeys, all those type of things. So this is just an example. Okay, this here is beef stroganoff with noodles. This is Mountain House. I also have a ton of Mountain House. This is saying Best Buy June of 2052. I'll be in the ground most likely by 2052 is probably a realistic statement to make, I think. Uh, I hope not, but you never know. But yeah, so that's good to 2052. Let's see what else I got in here. Chicken fried rice. That's good to by October of 2052. So these type of things here, I'm not opening these up and messing with them until it's time to eat them. All right. But the other stuff, yeah, I eat guys, canned goods. I'll give you an example with canned goods. All right. Everybody wants to, yeah, I love tuna fish. Yeah. Larry knows I love tuna fish. Canned goods, I think, are important to have, especially the meat. If you can do that way, tuna fish is a great one to have. But I've had so many people go, oh my God, that's expired. It doesn't expire. All's it does is it starts to lose nutritional value after the best by date. What the best by date means is past that date, it will start to lose nutritional value. Okay. No, I got away from the MREs, Larry, because okay, the MREs only have a shelf life of so long, and then they go bad. And early on, when I was prepping, I did have a lot of MREs. I will tell you that. All the MREs that I had from back in the day when I first started prepping, they're all gone. They're all tossed. So yeah, they like I said don't have, you know. Does any of it have to be in a climate control environment, or does it matter? It helps if you keep it in a cool, dry place, Nick. Just so you know, if you can keep it in a cool, dry place, that's going to be better for it. If it doesn't have to be exposed to higher or colder temperatures, are definitely going to affect the quality of the food over time. So yes, okay. Bed and Beans just made a comment, which they're correct, and we're going to talk about that too. Tomatoes and fruit does not last in cans. That is correct. 100% correct. Again, ask me how I know. Okay, fruit in cans, you better be using that in your regular rotation, because if you go, I'm just going to put it here and it's going to be fine. The acidity in the cans ends up rusting it out, and it goes bad. The cans will explode on you, and it's a mess. I figured that out exactly firsthand again. And so, yeah, MREs are 3 to 5 years. So MREs are not one that I would put my money into, honestly. I would rather put my money into like with the Mountain House meal. It's going to be good until 2052. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one. But so my shed should be for food stores long term. Yeah, it should be. Yep, it should be. But again, like I said, it's um, those buckets that I had out here. They were out in the shop. Now the shop was insulated, okay, but there was no heat source in the shop, so it got cold and it got hot and it did all that type of stuff. So, but that's where they sat. And then I had other buckets in where I kept my bike. If you guys remember some of the older videos and you saw the rows of the orange buckets there, they were all out there too. There was not, there was no heat in those. There was no temperature regulation. That was more shaded. So both of them were shaded. So that made a difference, I feel, with summertime not getting too hot into those areas. So that's kind of the way that went. But anyway, um, you know, again, fruits don't last long. So if you have fruits, and I think it's important that you have fruits. Don't get me wrong. I love peaches. I love pears. I love pineapple. Fruit cocktail. I love all of that type of stuff. Okay, if you're going to have those, make sure it's part of your rotation. Eat them on a regular basis, replace them on a regular basis. Those I would look at the best by date. You can eat them past that as long as obviously the can is not swollen. What happens with the tomato paste in the cans, like your tomato sauces and stuff like that, the cans will start to swell. All right, the tops, you'll see the top of the can lift up and it'll be swollen. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. If that can is swollen, or if you open a can of something up and you smell it and it doesn't smell good, if you get a bad smell off of it, absolutely do not eat that either, because that could be really really bad. So um, again, you live and you learn. I have, yeah, botulism. Yep, absolutely, JJ. So I've lived and learned a lot of things. Unfortunately, lost a lot of stuff, a lot of food, but your freeze dried foods, good to go. Your long term food storage, your rice, your beans, those type of stuff that are going to have a 30-year shelf life, absolutely good to go. Honey is forever. So you just I mean, well, rice will last forever as well, to be honest with you. But again, you have to Plan accordingly, prepare accordingly, figure out what works and what doesn't work. Do you have a well at your West Virginia property? Yes, I have a well at the West Virginia property. And so I have not utilized the well yet, Nick. Okay. All we have to do for the well and what we're waiting for, and I will go ahead and share this information because it don't matter because you're going to see it on video anyway. What we want to do in the spring of next year is we want to pick up a 2,000-gallon tank, put it in the top of the like where you're coming over the hill into the lower meadow, dig down, put a 2,000-gallon tank in there. We'll pump water up from the well into that 2,000-gallon tank, fill that up, and then we're gonna backfill it with dirt for thermal mass, and then that way we will gravity feed from that tank to the lower meadow and gravity feed from that tank down into the upper meadow to utilize for greenhouses and stuff like that. So that's how we've done that. Water collection for now. How am I getting my water now? Okay. I have a 275-gallon tote that I have hooked up as a rain catchment system with the battery room. So that 9 times out of 10 is full. There's 275 gallons of water there. I collect water off of the camper. All right. I have buckets out right now that I'm collecting water coming off of the pavilion. Now, what is that water for? If I'm going to utilize that water that I collect either off the camper, the battery room, or the pavilion, if I decide I'm going to use that to drink, if I'm going to use that to cook with, I run it through my Berkey first. I would never drink that water straight out. I always run it through the Berkey first. Otherwise, I use that water for washing dishes, washing up, that type of thing. So that's what I've been doing up to this point right now. As we get into next year, one of our main priorities, now that we have these buildings in sight here on the property, is getting rain catchment set up all over. Every building that you see on this property will have rain catchment set up on this property. I think it's hugely important. Being able to utilize that water for cooking, cleaning, those type of things, really, really important. And drinking, obviously. Mother Nature's there. It's going to give you the water if you can collect it and you can utilize it. But I'm going to tell you, make sure you're filtering your water. That's important. That's going to be important. If you're going to be drinking the water, make sure you're filtering it. Okay. So, all right. So we're at 370 in the chat. We're at 272 on the thumbs up, guys. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that ahead of time. Also, it makes a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So we're going to do shout outs, and JJ and everybody else is jumping on there. So I got you. I'm with you. We'll start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead. I don't have my book. I have no idea where it is. I don't know if I left it in New York. If I left it in New York, I'm going to have to get one of these other booklets that I have and make a new list. So that's what I'm going to end up probably doing because I have a strange feeling that I left it in New York. Well, I'll have to ask Heather to go in and look, but I think I left it in New York. So what I'll do is I'll just call her and say, okay, do I have that? You see that list? Start reading the names off, and I'll just write them all down again. So, but anyway, we have Heavenly Hills Homestead, growing giant vegetables, nice folks. Go show Ryan some support, and definitely do that. You also have Jason, which is Angry Prepper down in New York City, another good guy. Definitely check him out as well. Also, we have Rudy, which is Alaska Prepper, another good guy up in Alaska doing his thing there. There's Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and myself, Reliance. Two different channels, same guy, master builder, unbelievable to watch him build. You have Survival Lily over in Europe showing you what's going on over there and what she's doing over there. There is Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast doing their thing out there. You have Demcat, another good channel. I like him as well. There is Pinball Preparedness. You have Homestead, which is a very family-oriented channel. Appalachia Homestead with Patera, another one, straight shooter. I like her as well. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. You have, let's see, the Needy Homesteader. Again, somebody, she's been around a long time. The Prepared Mind. You have Ryan Hall Y'all with the weather. Really passionate about the weather, and definitely, somebody to pay attention to. You have and Girl in the Woods, husband wife team, two different channels, really good folks there. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around for a long time as well. A lot of good information on there. There's Gray Man Prepping. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota. Nice young couple up there. Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest information of what's going on with Yellowstone and everything there. Really good information there. You have uh, Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. You have the nomadic movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there, living off grid in Panama. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond is a really good guy as well. You have Green Greg's. Green Greg's is another good guy. East Tennessee Preparedness is another channel. You have Full Spectrum Survival. There is I didn't want to give the. I generally don't give that one out. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. A little bit too much fear mongering for me on that channel. My bad. So disregard, delete. Not slamming them, but I just a little bit too much of the other on that channel. But certain channels I'm not giving shout outs to anymore just because I don't think that it is healthy to push a fear narrative all the time. And unfortunately, that's one of them that does that. So we have a Little House Off Gritty. They are down in Tennessee as well. Nice young couple down there. I think it's more positive to show what you can do about things, what preparations that you can do to make your lives better and stuff like that. I think that's much more productive, and that type of stuff instead of pushing fear, fear, fear all the time. I think that's counterproductive. That's just my take. I have seen. Malachi's Corner. Yes, I didn't say Malachi's Corner. Sorry. Russell Brand. Love Russell Brand as well. Says it like it is. Gives you the information. Lets you decide what you want to do with it. Townsend's is another really good channel, showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s and stuff like that. So, a lot of good channels out there, guys. A lot of good information. Magic Prepper in North Dakota is another one that I like to give a shout out to. I did Marfugal News, I believe, already with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Boss of the Swamp, I did not do yet. I like his channel as well. Another guy who's an amazing builder. And so definitely check him out. So, like I said, a lot of great information out there, a lot of good channels. Again, it's whatever you decide that you want to listen to or you want to watch. I think it's healthier to be positive than it is to be negative constantly. You have to pay attention to the negativity and the negative stuff as well, unfortunately. And I mean, I will talk about that, but I think it's, like I said, I think it's more productive to say, okay, yeah, this sucks, and we know that this sucks, but what can we do about it? What can you do to put yourself in a situation? Um, how are your ammo prices in West Virginia? Not bad, Larry. Not bad in comparison, and things are still available, which is also really good as well. And so yeah, that's a good thing. But so well, I'm gonna give a recommendation here, guys. Before they try to do what they're doing in New York, across the country, I would stock up on as much ammo as you possibly could too, if you can afford it. You know what I mean? Just because, again, it is better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, or have to go through all kinds of regulations, jump through hoops, and have yourself be on a list because you're out there buying large quantities of ammunition. I just, if I'm buying ammunition, I go in, I pay cash, I buy my ammunition, and I walk out the door. Uh, you know, and that's it. So, I mean, again, it's all about choices. It's what you want to do and how you want to take care of your business. Do it whatever way that you want to, but I think it's probably a smart time to be stocked up on that as well. You definitely, you know. Again, I'll give you my rule of thumb, and you guys can do whatever you want. Like I said, I'm never going to tell you you have to do this. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. My recommendation per weapon that you own. I don't care if it's a BB gun. I don't care if it's a 22. I don't care if it's a shotgun, a rifle, a pistol. My recommendation to anybody, if you have whatever weapon, the minimum rounds that you should have for that weapon is 2,000 rounds. Minimum. There is no maximum. So once you've hit 2,000 rounds, feel free to continue to add on. I think that that's really important to do so. And, just be as, like I said, if you don't ever have to use it, well, at least you got it. If you have to use it, you will be very, very surprised how quickly you'll go through ammunition. And when you're out of ammunition, then you're in a situation where you have a club, you don't have a weapon anymore. And I just would rather be in a situation where I can handle my business, make sure that my people are safe, in those type of things. So, always been my rule of thumb. I had a buddy of mine, when the whole thing happened with the pandemic and you couldn't get anything and there was nothing available and it was a period where getting ammunition was very, very tough. And he called me and we were talking and he goes, "Man, I wish I had listened to you." And I went, "Why? What's up?" He said, "Well, I was trying to get ammo for what the weapon that he had. And I won't say what it was because it doesn't matter." He goes, "I'm having a hard time getting ammo for that." I go, "Well, how much do you have?" And he was like, "Maybe 400 or 500 rounds." I go, "Dude, man, what are you doing?" And he goes, "I know, I know, I know." But again, you can lead that horse to water, folks, but you can't make that horse drink. And it's not about, and I want you to understand this, okay? It's not about my whole life being about prepping. Now, I love prepping. Not going to lie, it is prepping a big part of my life? Yes, it is. I live off grid. I live at my bug out location. Okay, that is on purpose. That's for a reason. But that doesn't mean I stop living my life either. Okay, I still go where I want to go. I still do what I want to do. Making a trip to New York, that's a long haul to go up there, but that was a planned trip. I knew I was going to go do that, and that's what I did. When I remember when the election was coming up, if you guys remember this, I was down south. We were on a road trip. Heather and I went on a road trip. And people were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're leaving," with everything going on and stuff like that. But the reality is this: you can't stop living your life no matter what's going on. You still have to live your life. So if you have vacations planned, go on your vacation. If something happens, it's going to happen regardless. You can't live in that fear. You have to live your life. You have to enjoy it. You have to do the things that you want to do. I happen to love prepping, so it's a big part of what I do. It is a focus on a lot of the things that I do. I'm not going to lie. So am I a little obsessed with it? Maybe, but I enjoy it. So it's like, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do that. There's so much that, like, Steve said to me today. He goes, "Well, now that you got the insulation done over there, you got nothing left to do, right?" I mean, there's always something else to do. So, but anyway, guys, let's do this. We are legion because we are many. Where's everybody from tonight? Let's do that. It's a healthy obsession. There's a lot, like my ex-wife used to say to me, there's a lot worse hobbies that you could have. We got Dawn in the UP of Michigan, Dayton, Ohio with Rhonda, Arkansas, Ozark Hillbilly with Randall, Franklin County, Ohio, Southwest Ohio with Barbara, middle of Michigan with Whispering Pine, Leesburg, Florida with Joan, Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Oakley Forge. We got California, Palatica, Idaho with Janita, Omaha, Nebraska with Larry. East Central Illinois, we got West Virginia with Morning Light. BC, Canada with Emil. Verone, BC, Canada. We got Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster. Maggie in Missouri, Village Homestead in Central New York. Dallas, Texas with Traveler. Hill Valley, California with Will. BC, Canada with Janet in the house. Melbourne, Australia with Philip in the house. Good evening, Philip. Philip's a cool guy, guys. Sorry. Sin City, Nevada. We have Cave Creek, Arizona. Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa. Greenwood, Nebraska with Brian. Upstate New York with Camp Corona. I like that name. That's actually funny. Waterloo, New York with Sharon. West Central Ohio with Dale. Dallas, Texas with Beads and Beans. Southwestern Ontario with Zook. We have Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, the Smoky Mountain Off Grid. North Woods of Wisconsin with Mrs. Hippie. We have Clearwater, Florida with Devin. We have East of Indianapolis with Susan. Peter on the Dark Side of the Moon. Good album. Cape Cod, Mass. So again, guys, we are literally all over the place. We got Bonnie in Southern Oregon, all over the country, all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that can definitely make a difference now, and we can definitely make a difference after an event as well. We got Diane in St. Augustine, Florida, Ulster Park, New York with Francine. We can make a difference now by trying to wake people up. The more people we wake up, it's less victims that are out there. That's important. We got Juniper, Florida in the house. You know, but afterwards, we're going to be teachers. We're going to be teaching people how to survive because they're going to be very attentive after an event. They're going to want to learn. They're going to want to know. So those are things that you have to think about. And so that is what our choices are. It's what we can do. So, but yeah, the election infection is back. Isn't that interesting how they have it so that we can do all those mail-in ballots? I'll bet that'll be big time again, right? You know, we can definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if that's if that happens again. Wouldn't shock me at all. I don't think they should have mail-in ballots personally. I think you should have to go wherever you're going to go, showing identification that you are a U.S. citizen to be able to vote. That's just me. That's just what I say. And who am I? What difference does it make, right? But guys, listen. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. So, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, thank you very much. I appreciate what you do. It makes a big, big difference. Also, I want to thank all you guys for being here, supporting the channel. It's a lot of fun. I do enjoy these chats. Hopefully, we share information. I do have a tendency to go off the rails, which is, wow, what a surprise, but that's okay. It makes it more interesting that way. Uh, so anyway, remember, folks, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we could ever figure that one out, we will be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. We really do. They use race, they use religion, they use political affiliation. It's all nonsense. None of it means anything. We have to come together as human beings and make this world a better place. And, we're in a small scale. It's exactly what we're doing down here in West Virginia. It's a bunch of good people coming together, common interests, common thought process, and making things better for when the time comes. And it is, yeah, Hella has been quiet tonight. She was out with me all day. We were out most of the day outside and stuff, so she got to run around quite a bit. Uh, but also, like I said, it's getting things squared away and working on things. But also remember, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, folks, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you were trying to do, whatever you were trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one stopping you from achieving your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. Make realistic goals and then set about to making them happen. Once you make that goal happen, get off the list and you go on to the next goal. That's how it should be. So that's just focus on that and you're going to be just fine. All right. So anyway, I am going to jump off of here for now. Be safe, everybody. Keep prepping. Take care of your business. Stay away from negative people. All they want to try to do is bring you down because their lives are miserable, their lives suck, and they want your life to suck too. But make the conscious choice not to do that. Don't feed into that, and you're going to be much, much better off. Have a great night, and I will see you all later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.